Okay, welcome. Come on in. Come join me. We're going to talk about growing social media, growing your followers, and gaining a loyal following on social media. So, if that's something that you are interested in learning about, come on in, come take a seat at the table. We're going to do a quick chat about how to grow your social media. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I love this topic. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. It's also one of the biggest questions that I always get when it comes to growing a profitable online business. Because let's face it, we can have a good idea, it can be a profitable idea, but if we can't drive traffic to our idea, then we do not get any sales. And I just want to remind you of how powerful this platform is. Okay. We have a platform in front of us that is free to use where we can drive traffic to our offer. Thank you so much. So kind of you. Good morning. Prior to social media, prior to the internet, what did we have to do to get our product in front of the people that we wanted to get it in front of? We had to put an ad out in a magazine, in a newspaper. What if we wanted to give something away for free? Well, we had to put a little clipping in there that had name and address and phone number, and we cut it out and we filled in the information, and then we put it in the envelope and we put a stamp on it and we mailed it out. That's how marketing worked prior to the internet. Social media has made our lives so easy. Now, I know this question is going to come up. People are always like, yeah, but Gwen, people aren't on social media to buy. No, people are on social media to solve problems all the time. The reason why you got on social media today was maybe you're just scrolling, right? And so the problem that you're solving by scrolling is to numb your mind, right? So everyone who comes on social media is solving a problem. So while you might not come on social media specifically being like, I'm going to buy something today, if you came across a post, a live, a picture, a video that solved some sort of problem that you had, then you would be likely to stick on that video, post, etc., and possibly make a purchase. And if you don't make a purchase right away, you're probably going to follow that person because you're like, oh my gosh, this person is solving a problem for me. So let's talk about how we can use social media to solve problems and grow our following and make sales. Does that sound good? If you don't know me, my name is Gwen, and in 2023, I started this very account that you are watching me on, and I took it from 0 followers, brand new account, to 250,000 followers plus in a year, which subsequently also helped me build a multiple 6-figure business in that time as well. Now, prior to that, I had struggled. I hate that word because I don't believe anyone actually is struggling. We're just learning. But to say it for reference, because I think a lot of people use that term, I had struggled for 7 years to try to build multiple different businesses in the digital space and saw a little bit of success, but nothing like when I put what I'm about to teach you into action. So my hope is that you skip the mistakes that I made for 7 years so that you can go out and grow your profitable online business. That's exactly what I get to teach people how to do every day, and I love it. So one of the biggest parts of that is social media. Drop a hell yes in the comments if you want to learn how to grow a following, how to make sales, how to show up on social media every single day, what to post, when to post, where to post, etc. Give me a hell yes in the comments if that is you. Right? Because it's one of the biggest questions that I get all of the time. I see you, hell yes. I see you, hell yes. Right? For some reason, social media feels like this elusive tool. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to make it super simple for you. Okay. So today we're going to talk about all those things. Let's start with viral content. There are 2 things in the profitable online business world that people always harp on. One of them is 10K months. Like that number just came out of somewhere in thin air. People just decided that 10K months would mean that you had made it. Okay. So there's 10K months that people are always striving for as their goals. And then the other thing that people are always talking about and striving for is virality. Like they want to go viral. And I'm not going to lie. It is really fun when something that you created and you put out into social media goes viral. Because you're like, oh my gosh, people see me. Oh my gosh, I said something funny. Oh my gosh, I said something relatable that has brought people to me. And virality is great because here's the thing with viral content. One video can dramatically shift your growth, but you never know which video is going to take off. So if you're only focusing on going viral, then you might be disappointed because virality is a metric that we cannot control. I want you to hear me say that again. Virality is a metric that we cannot control. We can control knowing what good content is, learning what good content is, consistently showing up, consistently making content that lands in front of our ideal demographic, but we cannot control the virality of it. And here's the other thing about virality. It means something different for everyone. When I first started this account at 0 followers, virality for me would have been 2,000 views on a post, right? 2,000 views on a video. In 2 weeks' time, when I started this account in 2 weeks' time, actually, I think it was 10 days, I went viral with one of my videos that had started at 100,000 views. Now that video has gotten, I don't know, I should go back and check, probably up to 1 million views by now. But virality for me at that point, as a brand new account, was 100,000 views. That was insane to me. I had never been able to create that before. And it started to make me understand what worked in social media world, which then meant that the more times I posted, the more chances I had of going viral or getting lots of views and gaining lots of followers because I understood what my audience was looking for. But virality on its own, if you're only searching that, you will be disappointed because it can take time, okay? If you focus on connection and community, then you win because that's within your control. Can you control connecting with people? Can you control building a community, like putting out there that you want to build a community? Can you control that? How do you make connection with people? How do you know exactly who you want to help? You dial in so deep on the person that you want to reach. I see Daniel, he says, I have a video currently going viral, 2.2 million views in 4 days so far. I had no idea the post would do that. Here's the kicker with virality. It's usually the posts that we don't think will go anywhere that go somewhere, because it's usually the posts that we don't put a lot of time into. So what does that tell you? And I mean, don't put a lot of time into as in like, we don't make it perfect. We don't pick the top trending audio. But the reason why it goes viral is because it is relatable. And the way that we get there is we know our demographics. So that's where we're going right now. We need to know who we're going to help before we can even start showing up. If you don't know your demographic, you don't know what their problems are, you don't know what they complain about, you don't know what they say before their feet hit the floor in the morning, before they lay their head down on the pillow at night, what they're texting their friends about. If you don't know what kind of reels they're sharing with their spouse or their friends, if you don't know what kind of content they like to look at, then you will not be able to create content that lands in front of your ideal demographic, which means you won't be able to grow followers, and it means you won't be able to make sales. So the biggest thing we need to know is, who are we freaking talking to? Right? Who are we talking to? And yes, again, we can go back to the point of people are not on this app to buy. We're not coming here going, I'm shopping today and looking for something to buy. But they will buy when we nail the message, when we are relatable, when we solve their problems. And how do we know what problems they have? We know our demographic, okay? How do we make that connection? So now we know who our demographic is, and we know that virality is not within our control, but we can still work towards going viral, right? So how do we make these connections with people? Is this making sense so far to you? Is this helpful so far to you? Give me a yes or a no in the comments below, because I want to make sure this is helpful. This goes for even starting a brand new account. 0 followers, absolutely no followers. You don't know what to do. All this stuff is going to work, because this is exactly what I did to grow my following from the very beginning. Jade says yes. Okay, amazing. So hey, Rondo. Rondo says yes. Okay, we say it. Dying Daydream says for sure. Awesome. Okay, so we don't only focus on going viral because that metric is outside of our control, but we can focus on really nailing our demographic. How do we connect? How do we create community with people? How do we get them in front of us? Or how do we get our content in front of them when they're scrolling and stop their scroll? Well, we know who they are. We know what problems they have, and we get to go live and we get to tell our story. The video that went viral for me in the very, very beginning of my time, the one that landed and still lands, people still a year and a half later see that video and come and say, "Oh my gosh, this is like you're speaking to me." How did I do that? I told my story in hero format. All I did was tell people, "Here's where I am, and I don't like it." Okay? So once I realized I didn't like it, here's what I did. And after I did what I did, here's what happened. And now I'm on the path to creating this. Now that was 2 weeks into the beginning of my journey. I hadn't made any money yet in my business. I hadn't really gained any followers yet. Like I didn't have a lot of metrics, quote unquote, behind me as far as what you were looking at on my account. But that video made a connection with my people, with my demographic that I wanted to help. I wanted to help women who were burnt out, were overwhelmed, were tired of working for the man. They were tired of trading their time for money. And they really wanted to be able to create something that they could be proud of and create something that could provide for their family. And they wanted to do it in the digital space. So I knew my demographic. I knew what their pain points were. And by me sharing my story, where I was, what I did, and what I was on the path to creating, allowed me to connect with those people too. Because those people said, I want to do that. I'm that person. I don't like where I am. I want to take action, right? So they connected with me off the bat, and that started to grow my following immediately. So if we go live, if we tell our story, if we share our before and afters, and I don't want you to think that your after needs to be the end goal, okay? Most people that you're going to help, you're only a couple steps ahead of them. You only need to be a couple steps ahead of them in order to be of resource for them. Do not think that if you want to help people, let's say you want to help people become a professional figure skater, random, right? You want to help people become a professional figure skater. You don't need to be an Olympic medal professional figure skater for you to help them take the first step, right? All you need to be is a couple steps ahead to turn around and help them take their first couple of steps. So don't think you need to be this big celebrity status person in the world to help somebody. You don't. You just need to be a couple steps ahead, okay? So that's the mindset that we keep. Is it possible to have multiple demographics? Yes, however, caveat, it is really, really hard to talk to multiple demographics on one social media. It is very, very confusing for people to know who you're talking about, who you're helping, and what you help them do. Now, we could get into all the details on that, and that can look different for many different people, but you really want to have one demographic when you are starting a business and know who you help. Because you want to ride your offer, your product, your service to the moon and make that really, really profitable before you start infiltrating with a bunch of other different things, because it's too confusing. And when people are confused, they don't buy. Right? So if we nail our demographic from the beginning and we really focus and hone in on helping that person solve one problem, then you will win. So we go live, we tell our story, we share before and afters, where you were before you found the thing that you're helping them with. And we share a mix of educational, authority, and inspirational type content, which can also be seen as relatable type content. We share the content that they want to see. Okay. Now, if you don't have anything to sell yet, you will solely focus on growing your account, on growing your community, on building an audience. How do you get the people to follow you? How do you get your demographic to land on your page and go, yep, I want to follow you? Well, one of the things I want you to start thinking about is what makes you follow someone else. If we want people to follow us, we have to understand why we follow people. So maybe one of your reels lands on your ideal demographics page and they see it. What's going to make them hit follow? They're probably going to come to your account, check you out, and see, who is this girl talking about her story, sharing her progress? What is she doing, right? So you want to really connect with those people. Think about the reasons why you do things on social media. Why do you follow people? Why do you save a reel? Why do you share a reel? And then go do those things on your account. Okay. So again, we need to know our demographic like the back of our hand, because every single piece of content that you create should be aimed at connecting with your ideal audience. And a lot of times, people need to be told what to do. So don't be afraid to tell people, hey, if you like this content and you want to know more about XYZ, if you want to join a community that's going to help you XYZ, hit that follow button, right? Sometimes we just need to tell people what to do because they don't know. They're so lost in a sea, they don't know. So don't be afraid to tell people what to do. The other thing that we can do to make connection with people and grow our following is ask questions. Conversations equal conversions. Conversations equal conversions. If you are just putting content out there, but you're not trying to have conversations with people, and I don't mean cold DM people. I don't mean that. I never want anyone to cold DM anybody. Okay? Your content should attract people to you, and they should want to conversate with you, not you force them to conversate with you. Okay? How do we do that? Well, if they've commented on our stuff, ask them a question back. Right? Alex says, I find the mix of real types very confusing. I watched a live with Sean from December. Sean is my business partner in Creators Corner, and he talks about making general emails to grow your account and not focusing on your product or group. Yeah, so what Alex is talking about is in the very beginning, when you're growing, you're creating relatable content for your demographic. You're casting out a net, and you're just pulling the people into you. Okay, you don't have to have anything to sell. You don't have to create. If you don't have anything to sell, you're not going to have education. You're not going to have authority posts, okay? But you are going to have inspirational, relatable content, lifestyle content that connects with your ideal audience. Again, remember, if you're not selling anything, and also the people on social media are not looking to buy something, but they're looking to be entertained, inspired, motivated, connected. Here, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, what does every person, especially on this live, what does every person just want? They want to be seen, and they want to be heard. Those two things. So how can you make your demographic seen and heard in this space? And one of those ways is what we just talked about. It's telling your story, right? It's telling your story. It's being relatable, sharing the things that you know your demographic likes, talks about, complains about, right? If you're speaking to moms, how many things can you think about as a mom that is relatable to other moms? I just did a reel yesterday. And I was like, one day I was going to bed with 10 layers of makeup on my face and like not even caring. And now I'm in the bathroom for 40 minutes before I put my head on the pillow because I've got a 40-step skincare routine. And I feel like this just happened overnight, right? That's moms, that's women, that's relatable to my ideal demographic. Just the things that we talk about on a daily basis. So think about your demographic and who they are and what they relate to. That's the kind of content that's going to attract the people to your account and grow your following. That's so important, which is why I preach until the cows come home. You have to know who you're helping and what their problems are, because your whole goal is to solve their problems, and they're going to follow you if you solve their problems. Okay. Ask a lot of questions. People love to be asked their opinion. Ask people's opinion. In your posts, in your stories, on your feed, ask questions. Ask them for their opinions. Ask them for a referral. Hey guys, I need a new pair of jeans. I'm a mom over 40. I have no idea where to shop. Where do you guys get your jeans? Right? Monique says, I find it hard to talk about my 9-to-5. Tons. Total marketing because I don't hate my job. I just can't retire till I'm 74. Yeah, but that's the thing. You don't need to hate your job to talk about your 9-to-5. You also don't need to talk about your 9-to-5. You've got to think about who your demographic is and what you're helping them do. And that's going to depend on what kind of content you create. But just because you don't want to, you can talk about retiring early. You can talk about FIRE, the movement of FIRE. Right? Financial independence, retire early. You can say, listen, I love my job. I love what I do, but I also don't want to work till I'm 74. So here's the plan. If that's you, give me a follow. If you want to retire early because you don't want to work till you're 74, let me show you what to do. Right? You don't have to hate your job to talk about those things. Okay. So ask questions. Consistency matters, you guys. Posting regularly ensures that your account stays active and visible. Also, you are training the algorithm of who to put your content in front of. And if you're constantly like sports, coffee, athletic wear, I don't know, a bunch of random stuff, then your algorithm, the algorithm, doesn't know who to put your content in front of. Give it consistent content, and you will eventually get in front of the people that need what you have. Consistency is key. You have to keep showing up even when you don't see proof. You have to trust the process. You have to know that what you're doing is working even if you can't see the growth yet. And so many people come to me and say, Gwen, I've tried growing for 60 days. I'm like, cool, keep going. What did you expect in 60 days? A following of 50,000 people? Why did you expect that? Because maybe one other person had told you that that happened to them, but their life is not your life. Their product is not your product. Your story is not their story. We can't expect just because someone else has had this growth for you to have the exact same growth. You're a different person. Maybe you've been on social media before and they've never been on social media before, or vice versa. Maybe this is the first time that you are showing up on social media and you're still learning how to use it. You can't expect 50,000 followers in 60 days. We have to train the algorithm, but you've got to be consistent in who you're talking to, what you're talking about, and helping them to see that you might be the solution. Okay? Be there for the process and the result will come, says Daniel. Exactly. We have to trust the process, but consistency matters. Okay? Here's how to stay consistent. Couple of tips to help you stay consistent. Focus on quality, not quantity. Don't just put a post out just to put a post out and say, I was consistent. I did my post for the day. Pick a strategy. How many times are you going to show up? Is it going to be once a day? Is it going to be 3 times a day? Once you pick a strategy, make it a non-negotiable. If you want to grow a business, you need to make something non-negotiable. If it means that you have to get up an hour early to batch your content for the day, so be it. It will be worth it in the long run, but you can't expect quick success, okay? We have to put the work in. It takes time. I happened to grow really, really fast, but also I had been posting on social media for 7 years before that. So I knew how to create a post. I knew how to find trending music, right? I knew how to make my content. Jade says, I started at 3 times. Now I'm once a day. You have to do what makes the most sense for you in your life, and also the thing that's not going to overwhelm you. Okay, because this should be fun. This should be fun. This should be fun. I love connecting with people. I love talking to people. I love the community that I've built, even if sometimes it has higher engagement and sometimes it has lower engagement. I know that the people who need me will stay here, and the people who don't will go somewhere else. We're not always going to be aligned with everybody. You know, I just stopped following someone who I was following for years before because we're just not aligned anymore, and that's okay. My mentor says you have to repel as much as you attract. Your message has to repel just as much as your message attracts, because we don't want all the people. We want the people that we like. We want the people that we want to work with, right? Hi, I'll be done in a few minutes, okay? I'll be right out. Okay, I'll be right out. Okay, last couple points. Expect fluctuations. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. Right now, I have reached 1 million people on my social media in the past 30 days. But that's an average over the past 30 days. Now, the 30 days before that, it was lower. But the 30 days before that, it was 3 million. Expect fluctuations. There are a lot of things that are outside of your control when it comes to views, engagement, comments. You can't have a goal and say, I'm going to have a goal of getting 50 comments on this post. Why can't you have that goal? Because it's outside of your control. You literally cannot control how many people comment on your post. You can have a goal to get more comments than usual based on what you know has worked in the past, what you know hasn't worked in the past, and then create better quality content that creates more engagement. But you can't say, I'm going to get 50 comments on that post and then be mad when you don't, because it's outside of your control. Okay? Consistency matters. Expect fluctuations. 3 posts a day is maintenance. Why do we suggest three posts a day? It gives you opportunities for virality, but doesn't guarantee rapid growth. It just means that we take the 3 most viewed times of the day and we put ourselves in there. If you wanted to make it to the Olympics as a figure skater, again, I don't know why we're figure skating today, but we are. then you would get yourself out on that ice 3 times a day, right? You would get your practices in a certain amount of times a day because you know in order to get to that big goal, well, you've got to make this part important. If you want to grow a profitable online business and you want to use a free place like social media to grow your following, to gain an audience and a community of people who will eventually buy what you're selling, then you've just got to make things non-negotiable. And I know sometimes it's hard to see because, again, the proof isn't there right away, but you've got to trust the process, okay? Create your non-negotiable. If it's 1 post a day, if it's 2 posts a day, if it's 3 posts a day, create your maintenance schedule. Set a schedule, engage with your audience, be patient, okay? So, so, so important. If you are someone who wants hand-holding, you want consistent mentoring, and you want quality education for you to figure out, hey, this is my demographic. What should I be posting? What should I be talking about? When to post and how to post it? Comment mentor below this video, and I'll send you the link to the fastest growing community on school for content creation. And if anyone is watching is in that group, it's my favorite place to be. It is an amazing community, and the people in there are chef's kiss. We are learning, we are growing. We've had so many people in the past. We've only been live since last March. We started the group in March. And by the way, if you're on live right now and you comment mentor, send me a DM with mentor, because once I post this live, the live communication goes away and then the post comes up. So if you're posting mentor now, I see you guys, DM me the word mentor. I'll send you the link. DM me the word mentor. For everybody else who watches this on replay, if you put the comment mentor below, I'll make sure that you get it sent to your DMs. But for right now, please DM me and I will send you the information. If you like hand-holding and you need just a little bit of guidance to get yourself going, you want a schedule, you want templates, you want to know exactly what to post and when to post it, we will help you do that inside of Creators Corner. I hope this was helpful for you. If it aligns, drop the thing that made the most sense for you after you watch this live. That will be helpful for me, and that will be helpful for all of your people, your community, your connection, to see what's helping. I love you guys so much.